Today marks day 500 of my fasting journey, but also my health and wellness journey. Less than a week ago, I came back from vacation where I pretty much did shorter fasts, anywhere around 12 to 18 hours, and ate whatever I wanted. I gained 22 pounds in 27 days, but then did a 90-hour fast and then lost 14 of them. Here's a quick reminder to anyone who's watching this right now that I didn't gain 22.2 pounds of fat, and I also didn't lose 14.4 pounds of fat either during this time. Yes, I did gain this weight and I did lose this weight, but it isn't in pure fat. A lot of this is fluctuation when it comes to water weight. Here's what I ate after that fast. After a 93-hour and 24-minute fast, I broke with 2 cheese quesadillas. I used low-carb, high-fiber tortillas cooked in butter, seasoned with salt and pepper. I also had 2 avocados seasoned with salt and pepper as well, with some salsa. Great way for me to break my fast with some added fiber. 930 calories total, 36.3 grams of protein, and 38.7 grams of fiber. Next up, veggies and meat. Sauteed spinach, crispy Brussels sprouts, all cooked in oil, chicken with the skin on, 598 calories, 41 grams of protein, and 10.9 grams of dietary fiber. And you know it isn't over. Here's a huge bowl of white rice topped with cherry tomatoes, mushrooms, and zucchini. And when I ate about a third of what was in that bowl, I refilled it with eggs and more chicken, for a total of 1,152 calories, 63.4 grams of protein, and 6.3 grams of dietary fiber. Next up, some random protein bar. I believe this was chocolate peanut butter, 200 calories, 20 grams of protein, and 1 gram of dietary fiber. And I know this might look disgusting, but to help satisfy my sweet tooth, here's a bowl of cottage cheese with chocolate protein powder. But I also smashed 2 bananas in it and added some milk. Sorry, I ran out of spoons, so you get to see me try to eat this with a fork. 850 calories, 81.6 grams of protein, and 12.2 grams of dietary fiber. And finally, for dessert, pumpkin pie, 652 calories, 8 grams of protein, and 2 grams of dietary fiber, for a total of 4,427 calories, 250.3 grams of protein, and 71.1 grams of dietary fiber. I finished all of this in 3 hours and 8 minutes. I was actually surprised at the lower calorie count. I thought I was going to be doing anywhere between 5 or 6,000 or more calories. And the good thing was I was absolutely stuffed. I couldn't put any more in me. I gained 6.2 pounds the next day, and this morning, after about 50 hours fasted, I dropped 8.2 pounds and found myself back in the 140s. Only 5.8 pounds up from the 22 pounds I gained less than a week ago. I'm actually really surprised to see how quickly the weight has already dropped off. Honestly, I wasn't really sure what to expect after gaining that much weight in 27 days. It was actually the length of my vacation that worried me the most. It wasn't me worrying that I was gonna just overdo it and start binging. I didn't have those kind of fears. My biggest fear was eating back-to-back days every single day. And I do think part of the reason that my weight hasn't just stuck up at a much higher weight than where it is now is because of the things that I have done over the 27 days. Remember, the first couple of days, I even fasted for a full day, at least I think twice during my vacation time, where I pushed 2 24+ hour fasting days. But also, let's not forget that my average fasting time during my vacation was around 19 hours. So it wasn't like I was eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner and everything in between. So what have we learned? What have I learned? I know I probably sound like a broken record, but in the last 500 days, I showed up. In that time, I've fasted, I've gone on multiple vacations, I've worked out, I've overeaten, I've slept well, some nights I haven't. I fasted for 3 days, 5 days, 7 days. I've eaten back-to-back days. For a week, for 2 weeks, and most recently for a month. But never once on my journey did I stop hitting my timer, did I stop showing up. I always stayed accountable, and not one time during my journey did I ever start over. Instead, I've kept doing my thing. I've kept to my foundation of fasting, and I've worked on every single weight loss lever that I could. Yeah, obviously my foundation lies within fasting, but I am also working on exercise, the way I eat, the way I sleep. And that's why it's so important to me and bring up the fact that imperfect consistency is why I'm here today. I don't sit here worrying about fasting perfectly, about exercising perfectly, about eating perfectly. Instead, I push where I can, I give myself grace when I need to, and I show up every single day. You can too. As of this recording, I'm currently 64 hours and 19 minutes fasted, and let me give you a breakdown of what the rest of my days look like moving forward. So first things first, my goal is to get back to the weight I was at before I left for vacation, but to even push further. I want to get down to the low 140s. I want to actually find myself in the 130s. Now, I don't know where that goal is actually going to sit, but I want to lean myself out more. I want to lose excess fat and continue to build muscle. So in terms of working out, nothing changes except probably the intensity. I'm still going to do a lot of cardio, but my plan is to continue building muscle, lift heavy. And I don't have a concrete date or a concrete set in time where I need to be X amount of pounds or I need to be X percentage of body fat. All I know is that the journey is just going to continue as planned. I did tell myself though that this is going to be a time where I am going to push. I am going to give a lot more effort, especially when it comes to the nutrition of how I'm eating. And that's why I think it's really important for me to start filming everything I eat so that I keep myself accountable in that way. I find it really easy when I stop recording what I'm eating to kind of eat the foods that I normally don't eat, or that I am, not that I'm ashamed to film it, but it's like if I want to eat, I don't know, a Twix bar or eat a sleeve of cookies, it's really easy to do that without filming it. But I know that if I have to record myself, it makes me think twice about doing it. So I think this is going to help me be a little more accountable in that department. One of the things that I really learned though, after eating for 27 days in a row, is that I know I can do it and I'm gonna be okay, that I can figure this out. And I know that setbacks are gonna happen, and that's exactly what is happening later this week. So after this 65-hour fast, after I start to refeed, my plan was to do probably at least another 65-hour fast, but I have plans coming up this Friday. So that's not gonna push me at 65. I'm gonna end up doing somewhere like around 42 is my guess. And then I also have plans on Saturday, so I'm probably gonna be doing an OMAD for Saturday. This is me going with the flow. This is me trying to figure things out. This is me telling myself, okay, you're not gonna be fasting for 65, you're not gonna be fasting for 90, so now I need to work on my nutrition. I need to make sure that I don't eat as much because I get to eat more often. Now, whether that happens tonight or not has yet to be seen. I know how I eat. I know how satiety is really important to me. I think if anything, I just need to remind myself that I don't have to fast for that long. So maybe I need to ease up a little bit on the calories I'm consuming. This is something that I'm gonna have to tell myself on Friday as well, because I'm gonna be eating on Saturday too. And on Friday, I'm going out for beer and pizza, or whiskey and pizza, or beer, whiskey, and pizza. And then on Saturday, I'm gonna be having more of the same. Well, not exactly pizza and beer, but probably beer and some other not healthy-ish foods. But what I'm also gonna do on Friday and Saturday when I do have those foods is I'm going to make sure that when I get home, I'm still going to intake my protein, intake my fiber, and eat at least healthy-ish so that it isn't just a full day of processed, carby, sugary type foods. And here's the kicker. If that happens, if I decide to just eat what I eat when I go out and I decide to eat the unhealthiest when I get back home, that isn't going to change what the plan looks like moving forward. Not going to be like, oh, well, the week is shot. We're in the weekend anyway. Might as well wait till Monday. Might as well start over. Those types of things do not log in my brain anymore. Yes, the thoughts might come every now and then, but they are not like they used to be. And that for me is a huge change. That is a huge win to be out of that mindset. And I say these things for any of you who are watching this, who feel the same way, who have gone through this, who might be going through this right now. You can change that mindset. How you're gonna do it is gonna vary from person to person, but at least for me, especially with the coaching that I've done with other people, in my own personal experience, accountability, imperfect consistency, those two things, key components, absolutely key components. If you need additional help when it comes to fasting, weight loss, or accountability, you can check the link in my bio, my profile, or in this description for one-on-one coaching with me. Let's realistically get to your goals. I'll see you in the next one. Here's to another 500 days.